Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 120, and yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. I want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 119 was the open forum and Q&A. We just let it fly on that episode and talked about all kinds of stuff. We foamed at the mouth, as it were, and just did our thing for the entire program. But now this week, we're going to get back on track with recent events and news from all around the business. Are you ready for this one, folks? This time, the main event is Ring of Honor, NXT UK, and other stuff. I know we rarely ever talk about Ring of Honor here at the program, at least not in depth, but we're going to change that. There's a lot more going on in the world of pro wrestling besides WWE. You guys know that, right? Everyone's cool with that. Yours truly was at the Ring of Honor Honor Reigns Supreme card on Sunday, January 13th. Me and the boy had a great time. It was a good show. I wanted to do some vids during the course of that thing and post them live. The signal in that place was not good, so it was difficult. So I did get some video, and I posted a great big photo album on my page, and it was a blast, man. We had a lot of fun at the show. I was impressed with Ring of Honor's presentation. I'd never been to a Ring of Honor show. I was impressed with what they did. All wrestling. No promos, no mic spots. Very few guys were on the mic. It was very, very good. It's very refreshing. Instead of cutting to break every 2 minutes and, you know, having to shoot to hearing Michael Cole's voice in your ears. Hey, man, I'm going to go see SmackDown February 26th, right? But, you know, it's good to get a different taste of what's out there. So we're going to get into the Ring of Honor card here in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and talk about what's on your guys' minds right now. We're not going to do a huge Q&A or anything. Just kind of feel it out and see how everyone's doing there this morning. I did get the video. Whoever just asked about the tag team, I have not watched it yet. My apologies for not getting back to you. What's up, Tina? Welcome back to the show. Yeah, so we've already got comments happening on AEW versus WWE. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to it. So yeah, did any of you folks out there watch the Ring of Honor Honor Reigns Supreme card? It was live from Concord, North Carolina, about an hour and a half away from me. It was at the Cabarrus Arena. Nice venue, never been there before. The place was not sold out. I wore the Bullet Club t-shirt. My kid had the Villain Enterprises t-shirt. Everyone there was decked out in New Japan stuff. It was, like I said, it was nice change of pace. I enjoyed being there. We're going to go see New Japan on February 1st in Charlotte. I am stoked beyond words for that show. I cannot wait to go see that live. This may be my only opportunity to ever see New Japan. I don't know how often they plan on coming back in this area, but if they do, man, I'm going to be there with bells on for sure. The next mission is NXT. We're going to find the closest NXT event we can go to. We're going to go check it out. So, yeah, I enjoyed Ring of Honor. We're going to talk about the card. Let's see. All right, so we don't have a lot going on right now. We're going to zip down the Ring of Honor card. If you guys have some comments, questions, that kind of thing, about the show, how it was, how it went, that kind of thing, please feel free to hit me with it. For those of you who are listening after this thing's been recorded already, just play along. I don't know what else to tell you. So let's go ahead and hit the card real quick. The opening match, as it were, on Honor Reigns Supreme, Cheeseburger, Ryan Nova, and Eli Isom defeated John Schuyler, Corey Hollis, and Josie Quinn. good match, good curtain jerk. Did everything it was supposed to do. It was entertaining. I like Cheeseburger. My kid got a kick out of seeing him because Cheeseburger is different. He's not your prototypical pro wrestler. He's not even really a prototypical cruiserweight. I don't know what the level below cruiserweight would be. Lightweight, featherweight. I don't know. What's lighter than a feather at this point? A Cheeseburger's a small dude. I'm just saying. Okay, but it did everything it was supposed to do. It was a good set the pace for the show. I enjoyed the match. It was fine. Next up was Mark Haskins, one of Ring of Honor's newest signees. He defeated the Beer City Bruiser. Bruiser came out carrying a keg. Bruiser's now a babyface. He was yelling at Haskins during the course of the match, talking about he wants a fight. He said, "No flips and stuff, just fight me." Haskins did get some flips off, just to be clear. But no, it was a good match. Ended with drinking the beer, mutual respect from Beer City Bruiser back to Haskins. Good match. Nothing great, but nothing terrible about it. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Next up, Juice Robinson and David Finlay defeated the Best Friends, Beretta and Chucky T. We're talking about New Japan stars here, folks. There was a different air when Juice came out. Can I be honest with you? A different air. You could tell everyone there was New Japan fans, not just Ring of Honor fans, obviously. And just a different air. Juice has an aura about him. And maybe that's just me seeing it because of his time in New Japan. Maybe that's just the way I'm looking at it. But no, I could definitely feel it. An aura around him. Rory says, would love to go to see New Japan, but never come to Liverpool. Well, dude, hang in there, man. They're going to start touring more and more places, so you never know. Mitchell, what's up, my friend? Welcome back to the show. Larry says, RH has syndicated deal. It's on Saturday night in Detroit. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. Yeah, so I've got the Ring of Honor app, the fight, what is it? Honor Club? And it's cool. You can stream stuff, and now they're big events you got to pay extra for, which I believe is a little nonsense, but it's whatever. But like the live events, like the one I went to, you can actually watch it if you have the app, and it's part of the app. So, okay, folks. So let's get back to the card here. But okay, so Juice Robinson, David Finlay defeated the Best Friends. Chucky T did not blow up this time. For anyone wondering if what happened, it did not happen this time. Good match. Entertaining match all the way around. Tracy Williams defeated Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon went down with his right knee. Turns out he has a sprained MCL. We thought it was part of the show. Can I be honest with you? Anytime you see a wrestler go down, you just automatically assume it's a work. The heel's getting ready to slide out of the ring and stomp him into oblivion. That didn't happen. As we saw, if you happen to see the match, Tracy Williams slid out of the ring also to check on him. He's legit hurt, and Jay Lethal referenced it later in the show. I think after the thing went off the air, he talked about it. So yeah, I hated to see that. My kid was excited to see Flip Gordon, but all the best to Flip. Hopefully he gets back in the ring, and he gets healed up fairly quickly. Next up was a proving ground match. The ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Champions, The Kingdom, defeated Luchasaurus, Delirious, and Hurricane Helms. A nice, fun, entertaining six-man tag. Got nothing negative to say about this at all. Luchasaurus is much bigger than he looks to be on TV. Either that or it's just the way I'm looking at the guy, but he's huge. He's got the height of Punishment Martinez, but he's a little bit bulkier. A little bit more methodical in his movements, that kind of thing. But it was... yeah, Honor Club. Yeah, someone's talking about Honor Club right now for sure. So yeah, it was a good, entertaining six-man tag. I don't love the Kingdom. I like them. I don't love them. They've not really grown on me, to be honest with you. Matt Taven is fine. I don't know if I've seen enough of Taven's work to appreciate what he's bringing to the table. Someone just asked about Seth Rollins. I think that if Finn were to win the title, we could talk about this in a bit, Angel. If Finn wins the title, then he'll feud with Seth. It makes perfect sense from a booking standpoint, I believe. Yes, Larry, I believe Jay Lethal is the face of ROH, and I believe he has been for a while. To your point, Cody was there, the Bucks were there. It might have been a little cloudy, but no, he's the company guy. And watch his interviews lately, especially. He's really touting Ring of Honor, talking about they're going to be fine, they're going to recover, they're going to bounce back because it's what they do. He's the company guy. He's the leader. As Chris says, Taven could be ROH top heel. I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved into that position where he's feuding with Lethal over the titles. I think that would be a good move. Okay, so Next matchup, Bandito versus PJ Black. Now, everyone was pumped up for the debut of Bandito in Ring of Honor. I had to say I was excited to see him because I don't know much of his work. There's a point during the match where someone yells out in the crowd, "Viva la Raza," for Eddie. And so Bandito does the thing, for Eddie Guerrero. Got a little pop. I popped off that. I have to admit, I gave that a hand. That was nice. This was a rough match. Can I be honest with you? This was rough. This was an example of taking 10 pounds of stuff and trying to shove it in a 5-pound bag, in my opinion. That's what it felt like. I started to get nervous on a couple of different spots because it felt like they weren't on the same page. There was a spot where they both flipped up onto the top turnbuckle, top ropes on the opposite of the top turnbuckle, and did a head over heels flip together off the top. Talk about coordination. Here's one of the biggest issues I have with the modern style pro wrestling. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this because I don't want to, trust me. But the amount of coordination it takes, the amount of cooperation it takes, I should say, to coordinate these moves, to pull them off successfully where no one gets killed, it's painfully obvious that you're cooperating with your opponent. Now, I know some of it has to happen. It is what it is. I don't get a lot of heartburn over it. But at the same time, it does bother me. So that's one of the things I took away from this match was that Bandito was trying to go too fast, in my opinion. So yeah, no, the Briscoes are not related to Jack Briscoe. The Briscoes are working names, Corey, to answer your question. Larry says Jay Lethal the Sting of ROH. Man, I'm digging that. I dig that all day long. Hello, Alma. What's up, my friend? Can't wait till the WWE Live show in Texas. All right, sweet. Have fun, Alma. Put some stuff on Facebook so as we can all see it. Sound good? So yeah, to your point, man, Jay Lethal being the Sting of ROH, I love that comparison. That's nice. I'll take that all day long. So yeah, not a bad match. Bandito defeats PJ Black. Not a bad match. Again, I was nervous. A couple different spots there looked like they could have gone horribly wrong. No one wants to see that happen. So I hope at some point the cooler heads prevail. We don't have to turn 42 flips in this match. Maybe just 5. You see what I'm saying? And tell just as good of a story. That's not meant to be disrespectful in any way. That's just my own personal point of view. Okay, let's get to some heavy hitters here. Ring of Honor Television Champion Jeff Cobb defeated Rhett Titus and Jonathan Gresham in a triple threat for the RH TV Championship. Now, let me tell you something about Jeff Cobb. That's a big boy, okay? That's a big old boy. And Jeff is... I got to be honest with you. If you see Jeff Cobb on TV and you're not impressed, see him live, you will change your opinion of the guy. Trust me when I tell you that. I have completely changed my opinion of Jeff Cobb. He's won me over. Every time I've seen him in New Japan, every time I've seen him in Ring of Honor, if you say to me, "Hey, Tom, how's Jeff Cobb?" I go, "He's all right." Now, this guy is stupid strong. Stupid strong. Just crazy how strong this guy is. I mean, if you notice how he picks guys, these guys aren't jumping. Like if they're not ready for the slam or whatever, they've not jumped yet. He just powers them up. That's brute strength, man. He's strong, and he showed that in this match. He's agile. He can turn the backflip. I mean, he can turn all this stuff. Very impressed with Jeff Cobb. You're right. Cobb versus Page was excellent. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Great point. So yeah, man, if you're not a fan of Jeff Cobb, see him live. You will completely change your point of view on the guy. I guarantee it. Mark says, how much do the RH guys get? I don't have numbers in front of me, Mark. Can I be honest with you? I've never gotten really, really wrapped up in contracts and numbers. This year makes 9 years I've been writing professionally online. Nice little anniversary for me. But I have never gotten too wrapped up in numbers. I don't really care about bank accounts and paychecks and stuff. You might occasionally read something I write that includes a dollar figure. It's not going to happen too awful much because I just don't get too wrapped up in that. I can't answer your question. My apologies. I can tell you that there was a meet and greet before the show that me and my son chose not to go to because there was a room full of guys. And it's $30 per $30 per to get a photo and a signed 8x10. Listen, they got to have their gimmicks. They got to make their money. I firmly understand that. I have no problem with it at all. But, once you buy tickets and gas money and eats and then gas money to get back, that starts to add up to a little bit. So, tickets weren't bad, but I just couldn't see spending that much. Having said that, would it have been cool to shake Jay's hand and Dalton Castle's hand? Of course. $30 a pop's a little bit, if you ask me. Let's see. Was Jeff Cobb in Lucha Underground? Miss Lopez, how are you, my dear? I don't know. Can anyone answer that question? Has Cobb ever worked in Lucha Underground? I can't answer that question. I can't say I tapped out on Lucha Underground. I followed the first season and into the second season, and they just lost me. There's just so much to keep up with on Lucha Underground, so much to keep up with. It's so over the top, and it's so theatrical. I like bits and pieces of that kind of stuff, but I don't think I like it all the time. Can I be honest with you? I just don't. All due respect for them for what they're doing. Again, all due respect to the men and women who get in that ring and ply their craft on the Lucha Underground stage. Of course. But if you ask me if I follow it firmly, I don't. To be honest with you, so I don't know. Okay, Cobb was under a hood in Lucha. Chris, excellent. What was his working name? Because honestly, I don't want to Google it. I'm lazy right now. I'm just trying to get through the Ring of Honor card here and move on to the next topic. Is there any RH talent that you see going to AEW? Ricardo, to answer your question, I think it's entirely possible. Mark says Cena was $200 to meet and greet. $200. Hey, John, can't see my money, John. I'm just, holy God, are you kidding? No. No. Angela says, when will AEW make its debut? Just strap in and hang on, Angela. No one knows right now. It's not been announced. RH is on YouTube. They've got an RH channel. You can check them out, Brent, anytime you want. Supposedly there's an announcement coming about TV soon. We'll see. Yeah, so anyone... we were talking about Cobb being under a hood on Lucha Underground. Someone shoot me that name. Okay, so let's get back to the card. We're going to wrap up the card and move on to the NXT card. Hopefully you guys caught that. Okay, so... the Women of Honor Women's World Title Street Fight. Kelly Klein defeated Jenny Rose. Now, this was a fun match. It was slow going. It was slow paced. Klein had an entourage out there with her, which was really weird. To me, felt out of place. They hung around through the whole match, by the way. Things started heating up when the chairs came out, the tables came out. It was crazy. Fans were chanting, "This is awesome." It was fun after that, but I don't think you need that kind of stuff, but if it's a street fight, you might as well take advantage of it, right? If you ask me how the match was before the gimmicks were introduced, it wasn't bad, but the gimmicks certainly elevated the drama in the match. I can't deny that at all. So, yeah, kudos to both women for giving maximum effort. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, Jenny Rose is. I can't say that I love. I can't say that I love her, to be honest with you. But quirky personality, body type, not what you'd expect. No disrespect to her at all. I like different body types in wrestling, whether it's male or female. Completely fine with me. Not what you'd expect on that level. But I felt like they had good chemistry. Can't say they had great chemistry, in my opinion, but I felt like the match was good in and of itself. So, if you haven't got a chance to check that one out, check it out. It's one of the better street fights you'll see in a while, especially for the women. No doubt about it. All right, let's move on, shall we? This was the match that stole the show, folks. Villain Enterprises, Marty Scurll, PCO, and Brody King defeated the Briscoes and Silas Young. This was fun. Marty Scurll is entertaining. Much like Juice Robinson, he has an aura about him. And again, maybe that's the New Japan fan of me coming out. I don't know. But this match stole the show. PCO basically threw himself off a building. I don't know what to tell you about the guy. He's 51, I think. Insane. He took 2 ring apron bumps head over heels that would scare the crap out of anybody. He dove over the top rope. He dove off the top rope. He got a standing ovation at the end of the match, man. Like from everybody. Scurll and Brody King just stood back and pointed to PCO and said, "There's your guy. Clap for him." Crazy, insane. Very entertaining match. I have to hand it to him. And I'm of 2 opinions on PCO. Can I be honest? One side of me says, you're 51 years old. Have you lost your mind? The other side of me says, you're 51 years old, right? 51. And you're getting one last run. Take advantage of it. That's me, right? I can see why he does what he does. I can see why he goes that crazy. Can I be honest with you? I can see. It doesn't mean I approve, but you know what? He's a pro. He's a guy that's been in this business for a long, long time. If anyone knows what he's doing, it's him. If anyone knows how to protect himself and protect the guys he's working with and against, it's him. So, it's his body. He's throwing it out there on the line for you. It was a crazy match. The guy's not done by a long shot. I'm sure he's got a lot more to go. And I'm glad to see him getting a new run, or at least one last run. Steven says, do you think Bullet Club, Balor Club will show up for Finn at Royal Rumble? I don't know. I think that Finn's going to need a tank and a small army to beat Brock Lesnar. That's my opinion. Okay, folks. So one match left on the Ring of Honor card. We've got the heavyweight championship of the world being defended. Jay Lethal defeated Dalton Castle. Good match. Good pace match. You can tell both guys are pros. It was exactly what a world title match should have been. The boys are stupid funny. Just insanely hysterical. Every time Dalton Castle goes down, every time, the boys rush around to that side of the ring and they've got the feathers and they're trying to fan him to resuscitate him. There was a moment when they handed a lady in the front row one of their fans and encouraged her to help them fan Dalton Castle down. It was priceless. They're having so much fun with that gimmick. If I'm Dalton Castle, I'm never changing gimmicks. That's the thing he should use. If he ever signs with WWE, and I believe he will at some point, in my opinion, that's the gimmick he'll use. And I don't know what they would do with the boys. I say give them the boys and let them run with it, and don't change a thing, for sure. But I don't know what that would. I don't know if that would happen or not. But it's hard for me anyway to imagine Dalton Castle doing anything else. He's just so good in this gimmick. I had so much fun watching it. He's such an entertaining cat, for sure. All right, so we're going to move on from Ring of Honor. How many of you watched the NXT Takeover Blackpool event on January 12th? This was the day before Honor reigns supreme. This was fun. Not as many matches, but fun. I've been watching the opening match since the moment the program started recording here. They are killing it. They are killing it right now. The NXT brand as a whole, every time they go live, they show up. They show up and they show off, for sure. NXT UK was no different. People have talked about the pacing of their TV shows, a little off sometimes. But to be honest with you, the look is unique. The feel is unique. It's a WWE brand, but it's not a WWE brand at the same time. It has a very underground feel to it. In my opinion, it has a very Lucha Underground feel to it in terms of the lighting, in terms of the ring presentation, in terms of the crowd and things like that. A very hometown, small town promotion kind of vibe for NXT UK, which makes sense because that's what the regular NXT brand feels like as well. But yeah, check it out if you haven't. Tina says hadn't checked it out yet. Jim, hello, my friend. Yes, NXT UK was excellent. Very good show. Corey says, what do you think about Walter coming out and getting in the champ's face? I think it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I like Walter. Walter's one of those guys that kind of like Mark Haskins, kind of like Bandito. I've not done enough research on him. I've seen a few of Walter's matches. I've not seen enough to be able to sit here and say he's the best big man of the 21st century. I don't know if I believe that because I don't know enough to make that determination. And I'm not one of those guys that everything he says is this will happen and this will not happen because I don't know. We're all putting forth our best guess, my friend. Every one of us, no matter how well we're paid, no matter how well we're not paid, we're all just putting forth our best guess when it comes to pro wrestling business. I can give you my take. I can give you my analysis. That's what I can do. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm not right. That's the truth. I got something sticking in my craw, as we say down south, about this little conversation that I'm debating on whether or not to even address it. So, I don't know. That's just me alluding to the conversation. So, Ricardo says Cena will win 17 title at WrestleMania 35. Ricardo, bite your tongue clean out of your mouth. I'm a Ric Flair fan. I don't want to see Flair's record broke. Much love to John. I like John. I just don't want to see it happen. I just don't want Flair's record to be broke. That's just me. Lance asking about Revival in New Japan. Lance, hold your thought, my friend. We're going to get to the NXT UK card, and we're going to talk about some AEW stuff shortly after. Please don't go anywhere. Okay, so real quick, the NXT Takeover Blackpool card on January 12th. Zach Gibson and James Drake, and a shocker, defeated Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven to become the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. By the way, I love those belts. I mean, I love those belts. They're beautiful. I freaking love them. I can't help it. Good, solid match. One of the better matches as we're very early into 2019. Excellent match. Too long, maybe. Maybe it went a little too long. Maybe one hot tag too many. But that's my only complaint. It's nothing because the drama in this thing, the talent, the moves, the story that they told was just tremendous. I'm a real big fan of this match. Finn Balor shockingly showed up against Jordan Devlin. Supposed to be Travis Banks versus Devlin. Ends up being the Balor Club versus Devlin. Balor trained Devlin. Perfect little bit of symmetry there. Devlin actually even resembles Balor to me, right? Not quite as tall, of course, but kind of similar facial features. But, man, what a good match. Balor's one of those guys that can work anyone and make him look like $1 million. But it's even better. It's even better for everybody around, all the way around, when the opponent can hold his own. And, man, Jordan Devlin can hold his own. We were talking about Walter. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and check out Walter versus Jordan Devlin. Don't just watch the match. Watch the video package before the introduction before the match. You'll be glad you did. And the next week, tell me you watched it because you'll love it. Maybe we'll start doing it on the shows, giving out must-watch matches for you to watch during the course of the next week. I think that's a great idea. I've heard other podcasts doing that, so maybe I'll adopt or steal that. Jim says, great use of Balor to give NXT UK and Devlin a rub. I totally agree with that. Donald says, does the club become a thing in the Balor-Brox match? Someone's already suggested that, Donald. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Next Friday is our Royal Rumble preview show because we always preview the pay-per-view, and then the following Friday, we always give you the review. So next Friday, the preview, we'll talk about the Royal Rumble and everything that went on, the Rumble matches themselves, the title matches, all the way down the line. We'll cover the whole card about everything that's going to go on. So, Ricardo says, Cena is the GOAT. Wrestling is boring without him. Ricardo with a hot take, perhaps, depending upon how you look at it. Let's see. All right, so let's get on with the NXT Takeover Blackpool card, if we can here. No disqualification match, Dave Mastiff. We'll call that guy the Sherman Tank. He is, my God, that dude. He's someone stacked a whole bunch of metal up in a great big pile, and that's Dave Mastiff. That dude is just, Vader wasn't built like that. I mean, he's like a really, really jacked up version of Taz, I think. I mean, the guy is built to be a pro wrestler or a power lifter. He's not built to work at 7-Eleven, folks. That's Dave Mastiff. Pull around. That's not Dave, right? Yeah. He's built to be a pro wrestler for sure. I can't say I love this match. I'm impressed by the things that both guys can do. Eddie Dennis, much better than I gave him credit for. Much stronger than I gave him credit for, too. It was an entertaining match. Let's put it that way. I liked it. Didn't love it, maybe, but I liked it. I like Dave Mastiff. He can do good things. He can do big things in the ring for sure. Keep your eyes on that guy. And all right, so we're down to our last two matches, folks. Championship matches, the both of them. The NXT UK Women's Championship changed hands as Toni Storm defeated Rhea Ripley. I didn't see that title change coming. Toni Storm has been having issues online. Her phone or social media, something has been hacked again. There's pictures floating around. There's video. I think I heard something. I don't look that stuff up because that's creepy, and no, it's not me, you know. So I didn't see it coming, but I was glad to see it happen because I like Toni Storm a lot. I can't say that I'm the world's biggest Toni Storm fan. People rallied around her because of the social media thing, and I get that. But there's people out there proclaiming her that, oh my God, I've always known she's got it. I've always known she's excellent. I can't say that. I'm not gonna lie. I've not always been her biggest advocate. I'm a fan of her. I can't say I'm her biggest fan, but I like her. And again, I don't know a lot of her stuff outside the Mae Young Classic to be able to give you a determination. But it's something that I want to do some research on and look up because I do like her a lot. and she's won her first championship in WWE, NXT UK Women's Champion. So I'm good with it. I thought the match was good. I think, honestly, that she is much farther along than Rhea Ripley is. Miss Lopez, hi, she says she was shocked to see Storm win. I was surprised by that too. Ripley didn't have it that long, so now Storm is only the second NXT UK Women's Champion. But a good match all the way around. And as I said before, I think Storm is much farther along than Ripley is in the ring. But yeah, Ricardo, to your point, I like Storm as well. So, good match, folks. So we got one more match. It's the United Kingdom Championship match, Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey. I've heard two different takes on this. I heard one take this week on another program that suggested that there was a few too many moments of, ugh. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe Coffey was a little too, maybe not sloppy is the right word, but didn't sell the moves long enough, didn't pop back up too quick. They didn't focus like they should have during the course of the match and slow down enough to tell the story, that kind of thing. Then I heard another take on the Edge and Christian podcast where they both said, I like that Joe Coffey's not polished. I liked that the match felt like the pace was off, and I liked that it felt rough around the edges because that's what it should have been. It was a fight, not a pro wrestling match. I like that a lot. I like that point of view. And I try not to be wholly swayed by points of view, but that was a good one, folks. I'm just saying. So, yep, Jim says Storm and Ripley, good cornerstones for the division, for sure about that. So, by the way, Craig, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to do this guy any favors and try to pronounce the ridiculous last name. Someone take the moment to report this guy, if you would. I don't need that kind of garbage on the show. So if you want to spout that garbage to someone else, you go have fun doing it. But someone take a minute to report this cat, if you would, because this is absolute nonsense. Go find somewhere else to waste your day and don't waste mine, because we're talking about stuff here and we're having fun. And just because you are an idiot loser, that's not on me to deal with. So have fun and go have a low IQ somewhere else. Sound good? So how do we feel about the Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey match, folks? Again, it was a fight. It felt like a fight. It was fun to watch. Again, a bit sloppy in places, but to be honest with you, a fight is supposed to feel like that. Man, Pete Dunne can work anyone. People talk about who dream matches, who should this guy work, who should this girl work. Pete Dunne versus Brock Lesnar. Pete Dunne versus Brock Lesnar. 100%. Pete can work anyone because he's that good. The bruiserweight, man, you can't beat that. I mean, he's tough as nails. He's tough as nails. He might be the toughest guy in WWE right now. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that just to be saying it. I firmly believe that. I think he might be the toughest guy in the company right now. Crazy good. Good in the ring. Tough as nails. I really enjoy watching Pete Dunne, no matter who he's working or when he's working him. I enjoy watching him, so he's fun to watch. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates match from 2017, still a classic. One of the best. And put the NXT UK brand on the map. And that's how we can put a bow tie on this deal, is that without the work of those two fine gentlemen, NXT UK may not be the hit that it is right now. And talk about impact. Walter coming out, making his presence known, which completely made sense during the course, during the evolution of this brand for this company. Walter's going to be a pivotal part of NXT UK. It's a good move for him. It's a good move for WWE. He doesn't have to leave his house. I mean, really, he could probably get in his car and drive to wherever it is that they're holding shows in NXT UK. That's my guess. He gets to stay close to home. That's a good thing for him and his family. So it's important. And he's a star. He's going to be a huge star in NXT UK, no doubt about it. So let's talk about the stuff that a lot of people are wanting to talk about right now. We always get a lot of WWE questions and comments and things like that. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This is the other stuff portion of the program here, folks. So Chris Jericho's latest podcast, I've already written like 3 columns just on this podcast. It's a one-man show. He had no guests, anything of that nature. It was just him talking about why he chose AEW over WWE. And it's very informative. He gives a lot of inside information, a lot of backstage goings on in how WWE negotiated. Impact Wrestling came up with a number. He said it was very impressive to him. A lot of people tried to get him to, make the jump and to sign with them. And he told them all no, except for All Elite Wrestling. And you got to take time. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. You have to take time to listen to this show because that episode is really good. Like I said, very informative. A lot of information there on why he chose to do what he did. But the vibe that I got, and maybe you'll get a different vibe from this than I did, the vibe that I got from this show was that Chris Jericho is going to be the top guy in All Elite Wrestling. Yes, Impact is still on the air. It's on a channel you can't find, unfortunately. So Jericho, top guy in AEW. I don't know that I saw that. I thought a featured attraction, sure. Instant name recognition, absolutely. Universally recognized, can't deny it. But the top guy at 48 years old, I don't know how I feel about that. And I love Jericho. Don't misunderstand me here, folks. But it really looks as though he's going to be the top guy. Maybe not the champion. I don't know. But don't be surprised if he is the first champion. Maybe he should be. I don't know the answer to that. You know what I mean? Let's see. Paul says Jericho's the true GOAT. Wrestling, mic, work, businessman. You're gonna have a hard time finding people to disagree with you right now. Because I don't know that he's ever been hotter than he is right now. This, I think, is hotter than his run against Shawn Michaels when he was wearing the suits, which he topped with the list. Every time you turn around, Chris Jericho is reinventing himself, and he's especially done it here. The guy is tremendous. He's a legend. He's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. In every Hall of Fame that matters, Chris Jericho's in it. 150%, man. Think about this. Chris Jericho could end up, if All Elite Wrestling, let's say they stay the course and they're here for 5-10 years, hopefully longer. I don't know. But if they have a Hall of Fame, he'll be in it. He'll be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He'll probably be in the New Japan Hall of Fame. If they have one, right? This guy is he's making his mark through the entire pro wrestling world, no longer just for Vince McMahon's company. Let's see. Joseph says, I definitely believe Jericho will be the top guy at AEW, but I also believe he will pass the torch to the next best guy. I think Hangman Page, Joseph, will be that next best guy. I watched Impact on Pluto. Well, there you go. Better reception there, I'm sure. Ms. Lopez, to your point, she doesn't like what WWE is doing with the Revival. So she brings up an interesting point, and someone else brought it up earlier about the Revival. The scuttlebutt online right now is that the Revival has asked for their release. They asked for it Monday after Raw. Now, you guys have been watching this, I hope, long enough to know how this story goes. Only one of a couple things is going to happen here. Number one, none of this is true. I don't know. Number one, none of this may be true. Number two, it is. And let's say it is, only a couple different things are going to happen. One, they'll get the release. But understanding that, anytime you leave WWE, there's a 90-day no-compete clause. I don't know if that's different, but I think it's the same for everyone that works there. Which is not a big deal because AEW has not opened its doors yet in terms of running shows. It's a 90-day no-compete clause. So let's say WWE tries to stretch this thing out. There's a possibility they could miss the May show. That's just me talking. The next thing is they refuse to let them go. And as a result, Dash and Dawson end up extremely unhappy. WWE ends up booking them down to the ground, and they get nothing. How's about this for an alternative? How about if you're WWE, you go the opposite route and say, look, we want to keep you on board, and we want to do something with you. Take advantage of the fact that they want to leave. Take advantage of the fact that people are talking about AEW, you know? Take advantage of the fact that the Young Bucks have teased working the Revival and they've had supposed heat online for years. Talk about it. Put it out there in front of the whole world. Say, listen, I don't know what you guys heard, but I heard these two guys wanted to leave. They wanted to jump to somewhere else. Who do they think they are? I mean, use it, capitalize on it. It would be the first time Vince has used something to his advantage. Use real life, use real heat. Now, you're looking at me and you're saying, okay, Tom, but doesn't that give AEW free publicity? They've done it for years. They gave WCW free publicity, whether they meant to or not, just by talking about the other company on the air. mentioning Hogan's name and Bischoff's name. They did it all the time, just like WCW did. I wouldn't be surprised. She says, Miss Lopez says, I heard WWE doesn't want to release anyone. I heard that too, but I'm hearing everything. I'm hearing everything. Sources that I've talked to, can I be honest with you? I've heard both. I had one person telling me, oh yeah, there's going to be an exodus. Another person saying there's nothing like that happening. Right now, I don't know if you know who to believe or what to believe, but I love this. It's so much fun. Just buckle in and watch, man. Buckle in and watch it all unfold. It's a blast. How could you not enjoy this? Couldn't be a wrestling fan if you're not getting something out of this, for sure. Let's see. Nothing new on Bray's character, unfortunately, Toby. Yep, Vince talking about Brett's contract in detail. No doubt about it, right? Putting spotlight on WCW. Nothing about Roman Chris, unfortunately. I got no updates for you. I'm sorry. Okay, so Corey brings up a good point. This whole thing about Ziggler, here's the story. The story supposedly is that Ziggler was offered a backstage, like a producer role, and he turned it down. I don't think Dolph's done wrestling yet. And I think if you suggest that to him, I think you're going to greatly offend him. And that makes sense. So if you tell the guy you can work backstage as a producer for WWE, or you can go work in All Elite Wrestling, why in the world would he not go work with All Elite Wrestling? I mean, they'd be crazy not to. Now, having said that, can he get better money? All Elite Wrestling's throwing around some serious cash right now. Right? So we'll see what happens. But I don't know what's going to happen with Dolph right now. It makes sense that he would leave. But Dolph could have left anytime he wanted to, right? I mean, he couldn't have left anytime he wanted to, and it'd been easy. But you got to remember something. These guys are independent contractors. That's how Punk was able to leave the way he did. They're independent contractors. WWE can say you abandoned your job and stuff. You're an independent contractor. You can leave whenever you want. That's the truth. So, yeah, anytime you want. He could have went to New Japan already. He could have already jumped to Impact. He could have already went to Ring of Honor or anywhere else he wanted to. But the dream job for him was to work for WWE. That's the dream job. The question you got to ask yourself, I guess the question he's got to ask himself is, what's more important now at this stage in your career, the dream job or wrestling? Because I don't know if you can have it both ways right now. I think he had it both ways at one time. I don't know if he does now. Yep, Paul says Ziggler's been the poster child of underrated in his opinion. I agree with that 100%. Ziggler can do his comedy thing if he leaves. He's doing it now, though, Lance. They're not stopping him, right? But I see your point. Yep, very good wrestling entertainer. No doubt about it. Riot Squad, next women tag team champ. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they won the belts at all. It makes sense to me. Utilize the Freebirds / New Day rule, for sure. Okay, so we got the AEW stuff that's happening. They're throwing contracts around. They've signed Billy Gunn to a backstage. He's like the first official producer that they've hired. They've signed and hired. So Billy Gunn will be there. And so Hangman Page is on board. Of course, the originals are there. Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, Hangman Page. Chris Jericho is there. There's going to be a lot. Britt Baker is there. There's going to be a lot more as time goes on. People have mentioned Tessa Blanchard to me. I believe Tessa's got a lot of irons in the fire. I'm not saying that she won't show up, but I don't know if she's going to show up like right away. I could be wrong about that, honestly. But I think she's got a lot of irons in the fire with the WOW, Women of Wrestling. And also she's still working in Impact, right? That might be tough. But it's going to be an interesting few months, man. 2019 is going to be a great year to be a pro wrestling fan. I mean, no doubt about it. This might be the best year to be a pro wrestling fan in the past 5 years. And they've been getting exponentially better, in my opinion. But I think 2019 will be the year. But Superstar is supposedly asking for the releases. The revival, Dolph Ziggler. AEW snatching up talent, perhaps, taking advantage of the situation. I would 100% agree with that. So... Okay, so once again, we had a glitch. I'm guessing Facebook had the glitch. The good thing for you, if you're listening to this show instead of watching it live, you have no idea anything funky just happened. But trust me when I tell you, something funky just happened. So yeah, I have no clue what just went down. But Let's get back to the program here, folks. We got about 10 minutes. We're going to take it home. As I said today, I am a hard out at 1 o'clock. So Paul is asking, what in the holy you-know-what was with that heavy machinery Alexa Bliss segment? I almost shut the show off. It was really, really bad. Paul, that's what's up. So I can't say I've been part of a debate, but I have been around a debate that's been happening since Monday happened. And that's what I wanted to close the show with today, actually. So thank you for the segue. But the sudden return of sex to WWE, like all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss is topless backstage. Mandy Rose is in lingerie in a hotel room. What in the world is going on in WWE right now? I don't think it's any reason to push the panic button. I think Mandy Rose's lingerie was a burlap sack fully covering her from head to toe compared to the stuff they wore during the Attitude Era. No, I don't think the Attitude Era is returning in any way, shape, or form. WWE's a PG company now, so I don't think that's happening at all. What is happening is that WWE, I think, is just, I don't know, I think they're just trying something different. Maybe not. I don't know. I wish I had some answers for you, but the whole sex thing, I have no idea what's going on with WWE right now. Raw is the flagship program. So when you do something on the flagship program, you're kind of making a statement. Does this statement mean that it's going to happen on both brands? I mean, is this going to happen? It's going to happen all the time. I mean, one happened on one show, one happened on the other show. So yeah, I don't know what to expect now. I don't think the clothes are coming off. Christopher says it needs better ratings. But Christopher, do the clothes have to come off to get the ratings to go up? Is that the answer to sagging ratings, is to make the women take their clothes off again? I thought we were past that. I thought we were to the point now women had achieved a level of respect comparable to the men in the ring. Why are we going to go back to this again? Is it an overreaction on my part or on the part of other fans to believe that that's what WWE is trying to do? Is to boil it back down to its essentials, like the Attitude Era style. Is that an overreaction on our part? Steven says, well, maybe some of the cutting promos to come back. Okay. Christopher says blood to make ratings. Blood's not coming back, Chris. Of all the things that they could try, if blood comes back, it's either accidental or they just let one guy do it, like the time when Brock opened up Randy the hard way, which was hard to watch, folks. That point of that elbow, my God in heaven. Miss Lopez saying Vince trying to get more ratings. I suppose so. Karen, how are you? Karen, you're almost to the end of the program. People just now signing on, but it's cool. Thanks for hanging out anyway. But yeah, so it was, it's a mystery to me what happened. I have no idea why WWE's all of a sudden choosing to go this route. It's amazing to me. Joseph agrees, says the women are on the same level as the men. I hope so as well. Angela says, I hope not, because the girls have worked too hard to go back to that era. I fully agree with you. Ray wants to talk Finn Balor. Let's talk Finn Balor. Okay, so what do you want to talk about Finn Balor? What is it that we want to discuss about Finn Balor today? What is it that we want to discuss about him? Do we think, is there any chance in the world that he is actually going to defeat Brock Lesnar? I don't have any idea if he is or not. My gut reaction says there's no chance he's going to defeat Brock Lesnar because no one gets over on Brock Lesnar. And that's the truth. The last guy to get over on Brock Lesnar was Roman Reigns. And can I be honest with you? For me, Brock Lesnar's been undefeatable for a long time. And we can talk about Goldberg. Goldberg beat him. I get it. We can talk about that stuff all day long. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm not going to argue the point. But what happened in the end? Brock Lesnar got back over on Goldberg. Okay? The last person to beat Goldberg, or maybe the only person ever in the guy's career, to beat Lesnar in the guy's career to get an unanswered win is Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns went out right afterward with his health. He's gone. I mean, that's a huge statement. So for anyone to definitively beat Brock Lesnar, you're asking for a lot. We've already had a lot of you folks asking about Balor Club and Bullet Club and all this other stuff, and is he going to get help? Because we're already thinking he can't beat him without help. Because look, the best have tried, the best have failed. Right? So to me, this is just another loss. The interesting thing about this, to be honest, and Corey just said if he comes out as a demon, he will win. But didn't he come out as a demon against Owens and Owens beat him? Am I wrong about that? Someone look that up. I thought he came out as a demon against Owens and lost. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Was it still Cage? It was in NXT, I'm sure. Maybe I'm wrong. But no, so I don't think it's going to hurt him if he loses, because people know that Brock beats everybody. Brock's pinned everybody. No one gets over on Brock, right? So I don't know that it's going to be a huge deal if and when, Finn doesn't beat him. I don't know that it's going to be a big deal for anybody, to be honest with you. I think it would make perfect sense. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I'd like to see Finn win. Finn for the win. I don't know. Ray says it's Finn time. No, didn't lose as a demon in WWE. I'm asking about NXT. Yep, Joe beat Finn in the cage. Was Finn painted up as the demon that night, or am I wrong? Someone tell me if I'm wrong. Someone just said get the title off of... April just said Finn will lose 100%. April, I got a hard time disagreeing with you, April. I got a hard time disagreeing with you. Okay, Enrique says, whatever happened to Brock going back to UFC? They've got their wires crossed. Because I think that it fully looked like that was what the plan was. He was definitely going to go back. To hear Dana White tell it, Dana White's like, well, he just signed with WWE. What am I supposed to do with that? I can't do anything now. So you're getting two different sides of the story, two different opinions, and neither opinion sounds like they're going to come together anytime soon. That could change the drop of the hat. I don't know. The question is, what will WWE allow Brock Lesnar to do? If they allow him to do it, that's one thing. If they say no, what happens then? I don't have any idea. You would have to think, because Brock re-signed in 2018, you would have to think that Brock re-signed with the understanding that, okay, I want to go back to UFC. When can I do this? Let's work out a timetable. Maybe there's decisions been made behind the scenes we don't know about, which is entirely possible, if not probable. Okay, David says Finn is unbeaten as a demon. Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that. No, I don't think Finn versus Lesnar will be a squash match, but he squashes everyone else. He squashed AJ. And listen, I don't mean squash in traditional sense of the word, where the other guy gets in very little to no offense. I don't mean that. I mean, AJ was competitive. Daniel was competitive to a degree, but he beat both of them. I mean squashes and physically destroy, right? Which he kind of did. But, okay, so Jim is asking, do you buy that Balor Brock was a plan all along since Crown Jewel? I find that hard to believe. I don't know, Jim. For a company that supposedly does not plan ahead the way they should, did you know that Gato in New Japan plans like 3 years out he plans? Is that what I read or was that what I heard? 2 years, 3 years out, insane amount of time. Crazy if that's true. It feels like it's off the cuff, man, but I could be wrong. Maybe that is true. Maybe they have planned it since last year. I don't know. Be interesting if it was. Okay, so Tina says Finn lost in the cage as the demon to Joe. Someone clarify this for me. It was to Joe, not to Kevin. My apologies. I thought he lost as the demon. Goodness gracious. Everyone get on the same page. John says, do I think Kenny Omega will come to WWE? My gut right now today tells me he's going to AEW. But that's today. Ask me tomorrow. I don't know. Today it looks like he's going to AEW. That's what it sounds and looks like to me. Brock will lose and go to AEW. Corey, you just won the no prize for today's show, my friend. Keep your eyes on the mailbox because it's on its way. Excellent, excellent. Well done. Robbie says, hello, Robbie, what's up? I don't think that it will be the match of the night. So what will be the match of the night? You talking about Royal Rumble? That's a good one. I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel and AJ had a great match. I think they're due for a great match. I mean, not that they haven't had good matches so far, but I think to tear the house down, I would love to see them tear the house down because they both definitely have it in them to do it. And I'm sure they both can do it together. So, Becky versus Asuka. Sure, I'll take that. Chris is right. Maybe that will be the one. Don't you worry, folks. Don't fret too much about Royal Rumble. We're going to preview this sucker next Friday. So that'll be fun. Can the boss win? Ronda is annoying. So, out of the blue, Sasha Banks is at the top of the women's division, according to Ronda Rousey. And if she beats her, it'll be the greatest accomplishment of her career in WWE. What? I don't know. It's whatever. They can say whatever they want to say to hype a match. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I just found it interesting. Hey, Harry, you missed all the Ring of Honor stuff, my friend. Ring of Honor was fun. If you have a chance to go see a Ring of Honor show live, I highly recommend it. Folks, don't worry. Like I said before, we're going to talk about the Rumble right here next week. I got to get out. Like I said, I got to pick up my kid. He's got stuff to do today. I got to get moving and grooving, folks. Sorry about the mishap. I have no idea what's going on out there, folks. I assure you, the magic fingers aren't touching anything funky. I just, have no idea what happened. Sorry I didn't get to all your questions today. We had a lot to run down from this past week. Again, sorry about the 2-part show. My apologies for that. Hopefully we'll be okay next week. Listen, if any of you want to continue the conversation, feel free to hit me on Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger. If we're friends on Facebook, you can message me. And if we're not friends on Facebook, you're asking me, my God, Tom, how can we be friends on the Facebook? It's very simple. Send me a message in Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger and say, hey, Tom, what's up? Send me a request, yo. And guess what? I'll do that for you. Okay? Because everyone that sent me a friend request so far, I have become their friend. We are friends, dudes, compadres, chums, BFFs, amigos, bros, all the above. We're tight, yo. That's it. We're trying to build a community here on Facebook. Hope you dig it. That's all I got for you here this week, man. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, apologies for the technical stuff and all that crap. Hopefully next week we'll be back on and everything will be fine and no worries here. So that's all we got for you. We will see you next time, folks, right here on Tom Clark's Main Event.